Yeah. Yo, step into the ring where the stories get raw. Junkyard James spitting truth, no flaw. Beyond the junkyard, the tales collide. Wrestling's wild side, come and take the ride. Chairs fly, ropes snap, legends unfold. Every move, every slam, the drama is gold. From the underground brawls to the title fights, we break it all down under spotlight nights. Beyond the junkyard, where the stories get told. Steel cages, bright lights, the moment so bold. From the past to the future, the match stays strong. Junkyard James, keep it real all day long. Tune in, strap up, it's about to get wild. Powerbomb the truth, no sugar, no mild. Every heel, every face, every match that burns. The junkyard delivers, now it's your turn. So hit play, no delay, the bell has rung. Beyond the junkyard, where the legends are sung. Junkyard James got the mic in his grip. Wrestling podcast vibes, now let's take the trip.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. I am your host, Junkyard James, and with me today is none other than WeTooDeep of the Slapping Meat Community Show. My friend, my brother, my awesome compadre. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well.
Okay. That's good to know. All right. Well, today we're going to jump in to talk a little bit about WrestleMania. Kind of the vibes around the show. As you know, I am not a WWE passionate watcher. I watch it usually just for the pay-per-views. And so just going to get Mr. Meat Slapper, his vibes on the show, his thoughts on the overall show, and then just a couple other small things about WrestleMania. We'll also break down something that came out this morning on the Fightful Select Patreon question and answers post that Sean Ross Sapp put out there, and to get your thoughts on that as well. But first, before we get going with all of that, we got to say thank you to our awesome sponsor, Dubby Energy, your taste buds' favorite energy drink. If you go to dubby.gg and use code Beyond the Yard, you can save 10% off of your order at dubby.gg. The energy drink mix is wonderful without any of the bad chemically effects of some of the big name energy drinks. They got new flavors like sour gummy bear and cherry limeade. So go to w.gg, use code Beyond the Yard, save 10% on your order. If you're listening to this on YouTube, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like this video, all that jazz. If you're watching or listening rather on the audio platform, Apple or Spotify, go ahead and subscribe there. Leave us a review, and that helps push this in the algorithm to help other people find this content. All right. WrestleMania is next weekend, and I'm going to be completely honest. Typically, there's more hype around WrestleMania. There's not a whole lot of hype around it this year that I've seen from my casual perspective, being an AEW fan. Go ahead, if you will, and tell me, I guess, maybe what you've heard, how you feel, just a general overview of your thoughts on the card, the show, what you expect from WrestleMania weekend.
I'm really the same way. I just don't necessarily have much of a care for this card. In that the card itself on paper looks good. It's just the stories leading up to it. It's well.
Okay. Technical difficulty? Well? Yeah. All right. Awesome. All right. Looks like we had some form of technical difficulty. You may continue.
Yeah, sorry. The card itself on paper looks good. There's nothing of interest to me on this card. I could, if we go through some of the matches, of course, Stephanie Black Hair is one of my favorites, so I'd be interested in her match. But when you look at some of the things, we're starting night one with a six-man tag match that has ISHO Speed and Logan Paul in it. And this is going to be one of the matches on ESPN, on the actual network television. And so that's why they're starting with it. I have zero cares in the world about it. This should have been a tag title match. Why do we have to get ISHO Speed involved? You get like a McIntyre and a Flop 2, which should have been a feud that most people cared about, but like it's unsanctioned, which everyone knows just means it can be some weapons, anything goes. But it's not going to be like an all-out bloodbath. Like the one thing I will give AEW is if they did an unsanctioned match, first off, it wouldn't be the second match on the card. It more than likely would have been the main event and would have had a big feel to it. Like why couldn't Drew have kept the title and Jacob Fatu and Drew did an unsanctioned match for the title to main event WrestleMania? Those are the type of things that I think irritate me. But then you get things like AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, which everyone stopped caring about the first time they did it. Rollins versus Gunther, also on night one, just no absolute cares in the world for that because there's no storyline. Other than Gunther was supposed to face Rey Mysterio, he got hurt. Seth Rollins was supposed to face Braun Breaker, he got hurt. So let's just take those two people. That's what it sort of appears to be. Then you get into night two. Night two has the only match that I actually care about on the entire WrestleMania card is Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. And that's starting night two. And my overall vibe of this is like this could have been such a great on paper. You read some of these matches, and Sami Zayn, Trick Williams, Jay versus Rhea, the six-man IC title match. Even Finn versus Dom, which should have, it's a feud we've been waiting on for several years to finally culminate to. And it just doesn't necessarily feel that important. Then you get Punk versus Roman, and then a main event on night two, and of course your main event on night one. Cody versus Randy, which is I'm sure we'll get to later. That story in and of itself, I went from I'm interested in this because this was a match again we've been waiting on since Cody Rhodes came back to the company. There's so much history with this
feud from Cody's first run, whether it was with Legacy and all of that, and you could have had Randy attack Randy, and that could have been your personal moment. I mean, the story wrote itself, but you insert with 2 weeks left to go Pat McAfee to the story. You insert the celebrities to the story again, and I'm sure we'll discuss that. But this is the story that this match should have been the most important match. Like, this should have been the main event of night 2. Now I'm looking at this, and I have a feeling, just based on how this card is, there's 7 matches right now on night 1, and there's 6 on night 2, and I'm willing to bet on Monday we'll get a 7th for night 2, which will be Cody and Jelly Roll versus Randy and Pat McAfee, or something along the lines of that. I just have a feeling we'll have a 14th match added for night 2. What it is, who knows? Maybe it has something to do with Jelly Roll. I don't know. But as someone who you called yourself a casual WWE fan, I've sort of been the same way since ESPN took over. I haven't really been paying attention to the main roster outside of YouTube clips. And as someone, I'll be genuinely, it's definitely worth your time to just go and watch the 10-minute here's what happened during the show clip, rather than sitting through a whole 2.5, 3 hour long episode. Even though I tried to watch the Pat McAfee segment 22 minutes long with him and Cody last night. And there were like 7 commercials. And they were all WWE branded commercials that they are sponsored by. So I think they get to choose who their commercials are when they happen. So now they're even throwing a ton of commercials into their YouTube videos, which I think is absolutely insane. But it is what it is.
Yeah, that'll lead into my next segment that I wanted to get into, which is they bring Pat McAfee into this Cody feud. I think me and Cody had our sheriff discussion on that the last couple of weeks on our Thursday live streams. And I guess the question then that I want to ask is, does this feel, because if you look at Cody Rhodes' history of WrestleMania moments since he's came back from AEW, so he makes his triumphant debut at WrestleMania a few years ago as the open challenge participant for Seth Rollins. The year after that, I think he fights Seth Rollins again, if I am not mistaken. I don't know, these WrestleManias kind of blend together sometimes. Then you get the Roman Cody feud first year where he loses for the belt. Then you get what I like to dub it the Avenger match at WrestleMania 40, I think it was, where Cody beats Roman, and then last year it's Cody versus John, and The Rock kind of throws himself into that with Travis Scott and everything there, where Cena wins the belt. And now this year, again, they're throwing celebrities at Cody Rhodes. So 2-part question here. One, is Pat McAfee being part of this segment a plus or minus for the show? But additionally, I get the assumption sometimes that Cody gets these moments where he gets this type of treatment. I feel like sometimes it feels like it's a punishment from WWE. Do you feel that way? So 2 questions there. Is Pat McAfee a plus or minus? And do you feel like Cody is kind of taking some form of WrestleMania punishment every year? Maybe it's some harsh resentment about him trying to leave, and then now he's coming back. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I don't necessarily think it's punishment for Cody. I genuinely just see this as I don't think Triple H is the one doing this. I don't. I think this is strictly so just for people to remember. Cody comes back at 38 to Rollins. 39 was the first one against Roman. 40 he beat Roman, and then 41 was last year with the Travis Scott situation. I don't. So Vince was in control of 38. Triple H did 39 and 40, which I don't think was punishment. I don't think he was supposed to win the first one. I think he wanted to play. Triple H has this booking strategy of like the long-term burn to prove his baby faces. And we've seen this with Jey Uso and Cody and Rhea Ripley. And so that's just sort of the template that he used. Then TKO sort of takes over with, even though they were sort of under TKO's umbrella at 40, TKO inserts themselves with Cena and Travis Scott in 41. And so last year and this year, I solely put the blame on TKO. There's definitely, in my opinion, some form of backstage politics. Whether it's Triple H versus TKO brass or The Rock trying to insert himself, or I don't necessarily know what the politics is. There's definitely politics backstage. And so I don't think this is punishment for Cody. In fact, I think Triple H is more so pushing him to be the guy who came out that sort of goes after TK. I ultimately think where I think this is headed. I know some people disagree, but I think this is headed towards War Games, and they're going to put sort of the. We're going to have. There's some clues that I picked up on from Pat McAfee and Cody's promo last night, where we're going to have Team TKO representing sort of the sports entertainment, casual, uber casual fans that the celebrities sort of gear to. And then they're going to have Team WWE, which is going to be what I guess the casuals would call the marks. The IWC. Pat McAfee's basically created a war against the IWC. And so that's where I see this headed. I don't think it's punishment at all.
So then, your thoughts then on Pat McAfee in general being part of this storyline, because it feels like it was, again, like you said, a TKO push. Is Pat McAfee being part of this storyline a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing. For two reasons. One, this is 100%. It feels corporate and how it's being done. For example, we talk about this promo from last night. Pat McAfee mentions like, I'm the hero of the story. CM Punk on Monday mentioned lowering ticket prices, and so I I called Ram Trucks, and they're going to sponsor 25% of the bill from now till Monday. And then immediately after they put up a ticket poster. And so they're trying to make us feel that they're listening to the fans when this is just a corporate pricing strategy because the ticket sales have been slow. And so they're trying to reproduce, or maybe even not even reproduce, but produce a world where, oh, we're not the bad guys here at TKO. We're listening to what the fans want. And they have to do that because they don't listen to the fans, and they're catering to their pocketbook. And in doing so, it's created a product that's awful and the situation where you've priced out the majority of your fan base. So inserting Pat here, first off, you completely bury the main event. Pat McAfee comes in and basically says what Cody's done over the last year is trash. But then you also create a stipulation where, like, oh, if Orton loses, I'm gone forever. I don't see a win-win in this situation. Like, Pat McAfee could be useful to the product, but not in this circumstance, not at this point, where there's no real reason. Like, it feels like, based on that promo, Triple H is sort of like, bro, we can't make sense of this, so just do whatever you want. And we'll piece it together the best we could, but, Pat got inserted with 3 weeks before Mania. There's no way we can make sense of this. And so now they're just throwing things. Now you get Jelly Roll involved. And this is just a bunch of nonsense at this point. And it would completely surprise me if it comes out that, and I'm sure they'll do the WWE Unreal documentary where they sort of play this off like this was the plan from the beginning, like they did last year. But again, 2 years in a row, and I would even say 3 with Cody's main event, where you called the Avengers, like that was not needed. And so, yeah, I would definitely say Pat's not needed in the story. In fact, I think he detracts from the actual match itself.
All right. Next piece, there was a so every weekend, I believe, Sean Ross Sapp does answer some questions from his Discord page and Patreon subscribers, and there was one interesting one that was asked this week. I'm gonna pull it up here. Here we go. Hey Sean, any updates on YouTube TV subscribers having access to ESPN Unlimited in time for WrestleMania? Sean Ross Sapp. By the way, you get this by being a subscriber to the Patreon. I'm a subscriber of the Patreon. Look, Sean Ross Sapp and I have had our beef. Subscribe to the fucking Patreon. You get information like this. This is what he says. I wouldn't count on it. Disney/ESPN want YouTube TV and other cable subscribers to feel as if they should just subscribe to YouTube Live. That way, it's not just a $30 per month ESPN Unlimited subscription. They're picking up that it's that $30 subscription plus the $80 monthly TV subscription as well. I want to get your thoughts on this from a business perspective. Is this a good idea for ESPN, and as it pertains to WWE, not being able to have your pay-per-views on what I would consider probably the most used cable subscription streaming service, being YouTube TV. Your thoughts?
There we go. So I would say first, I don't want to say he's wrong, but I don't think he has information. I have YouTube TV. As far as I've been under the impression, YouTube TV hasn't integrated ESPN Unlimited yet, and won't until the fall. And at the fall, or in the fall when they do it, probably correlating with college football. That is when ESPN Unlimited will be integrated, and you should have it. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm under the impression of. And so, either way, let's say Sean is right, and that's what they want. It would surprise me. I'll be honest, I just can't answer the question based on what Sean's answer was, because I do think Sean is wrong. I don't think that's what they want. They have this, you can actually already, if you have YouTube TV, I don't know if you've probably already seen this, you can change your subscription plan. YouTube TV's done things where if you just want sports programs, you can just pick the sports channels and different packages that you can do. Doesn't really save you that much money, to be honest. It saves like $9 a month, but it is what it is. But part of, I think, the more advanced plan, but is ESPN Unlimited, or it's part of the sports plan package. From my understanding. And so, if Sean is right, it's bad business, in my opinion, for WWE side. From Disney side, ESPN side, I get it. You want people to have your subscription plans, but this is also the problem that I think we run into, where networks control the streaming services. And so, but this was always going to be a problem we run into. We sort of went from having cable networks controlling everything to, well, if Netflix is going to do streaming, then we'll just stop doing cable and satellite, and we'll just have our own streaming as individual networks. And it's all a big corporate thing, and it's all about money, in my opinion. So I wouldn't say necessarily it's bad for the business. Obviously, ESPN or Disney wants everyone to get their platforms, but the problem with that is they have Disney, but they also have Fubo on the Fox side. Which is why both of those were the first two, I guess you can call streaming platforms that allowed ESPN Unlimited. But yeah, I just from my understanding, I don't think Sean is correct. I would say by end of August, early September, as college football is picking up and NFL is picking up. So, does ESPN have full NFL anymore? Do they still do Monday nights? So, I feel like as that picks up, that's when ESPN Unlimited will be added to YouTube TV.
Fair enough. With that being said, I've recently become an advocate for this. The easy solution for this is to get yourself a VPN. Look, I got 28 months of NordVPN a couple months ago for $100 and something. It breaks down to like $8 or $9 a month. maybe less if I can't do math in my head. Then get yourself a Netflix subscription and just watch the pay-per-views on Netflix internationally. It'll save you a lot of money in the long run. And yeah, I've been an advocate for that here the last couple of months. That's how I've been working my AEW pay-per-views with the My AEW platform and my NordVPN. But well, last segment, I guess. Is there anything in pro wrestling right now that we haven't talked about? Obviously, like AEW, they have their Dynasty pay-per-view tomorrow, and other things. But I guess anything that we haven't talked about on this show today that you just want to talk about or share or say anything, have any comments on before as our way to exit out of the show tonight.
Well, first, I want to go back to your VPN comment. I think that's okay for the short term, but long term, like the wrestling world can't survive with that. And I'm not blaming the consumer. Like it can't. I'm blaming the companies. Like you can't survive forcing your consumers to, for AEW, if they do what, 8 pay-per-views a year now, 10. So at $50 a pop, that's almost $400 a year. You can't expect them to pay that. And then for WWE side, if I have to do, I mean, I don't technically need Peacock anymore since NXT's not on it, but NXT Stand and Deliver just aired live on YouTube for free. Like, I don't see why, if you're going to do that, if you're going to air the AAA pay-per-views for free, or PLEs for free, like, the ultimate solution to this is to go back to 2014. What Vince McMahon thought up, he tried to get ahead of all of this with the WWE Network. And part of me wonders if he were to go back and not take the Peacock deal. But even with the Peacock deal at first, it was a good deal at the time. But I've always said the ultimate solution was for WWE to go back to a WWE network, for AEW to have their own apps or streaming service, and just do everything completely in-house. I personally don't understand, why. I get it because you get paid money, it covers all the costs. But having like a TV deal, so for example, with NXT, like they didn't have to bleep out the chants on YouTube. And I think that offers a freedom if you do it to yourself to where you can express your content. I just don't feel like WWE or AEW or anyone should be locked into network television. I think that's an old way to present the product. So ultimately, I think the best way to fix this is through just doing everything in-house. That's just my personal opinion. But as for anything else, and there's nothing much. I mean, I've decided to watch AEW with you tomorrow, and there's a big opportunity for them to gain a new fan. Like, I know I've pooed on the company for how many years have they been a company? Almost a decade now. 8 years, 7. And so, but genuinely from the bottom of everything that I've been saying is always the need of, I want this company to be better. And some of it, if we're honest, was like, there's a little bit of competition.
this is my product versus your product type thing. But WWE sucks right now. Like, we just gotta be blunt with it. It's outside of NXT, which is even wishy-washy depending on the episode. AEW, I think, has this opportunity to grab a lot of fans like me who may not necessarily be hardcore sickos, but enjoy wrestling enough to dedicate 3 to 4 hours a week to it. Now, we can talk about, like, this pay-per-view shouldn't be 6 hours long. It's going to be. And that's, I think, where Tony Khan needs to fix. But I would also say on the opposite side, WWE doing WrestleMania that's probably going to be a combined 8 hours. I mean, 14 matches. I don't know. I feel like some of the PLEs WWE does. I mean, this WrestleMania is bigger than normal. But like, when we go to Backlash and next month, it's going to be 4 matches. And so I think there's a medium that everyone has to reach. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair assessment, I think, to make. Like you said, AEW Dynasty is this Sunday, tomorrow night, live from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So if you want to go ahead and buy that pay-per-view, you have several options. You can buy it on Prime, buy it on HBO Max, through your traditional cable subscriber. If you're international, you can buy it through the My AEW app. It is no longer on Fight TV or Triller TV. I don't know what they call it anymore. I think YouTube also provides a pay-per-view for it as well. But several options there for you to watch it. With that being said, we also have the AEW pay-per-view, All Elite pay-per-view challenge. That link was posted on my social media. You can find that link there and join the challenge. Make your predictions for the show tomorrow. And with that being said, that's all I had planned today. And we'll see y'all next Thursday on the live stream. Before we go, though, how can we listen to your commentary, specifically talking about wrestling?
The Cyber Me Community Show, just look it up. It's formatted for audio, so there's no like actual video, but you can go to the WeTooDeep YouTube page. We post the audio there, or you can go Apple or Spotify. I prefer, just personally, for you guys to listen audio, just my personal preference, because Apple and Spotify are the biggest podcast platforms, and the more we can get more listeners on those platforms, the bigger you rise up in the podcast ranks there. YouTube is more for short content, and I don't necessarily do that. So Apple or Spotify, whatever your preferred platform is, it's the Slap and Meat Community Show. This week we'll just be predicting WrestleMania. Probably hear some of the same arguments that I just made as we go through the matches. And those post Monday night, early Tuesday morning, depends on how long it takes for me to record. But yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see y'all next Thursday on the live stream. And thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. I'm Junkyard James. We'll see y'all next week. Enjoy Dynasty on Sunday. But until next time, stay saucy, my friends.
This is wrestling without the filter. This is Beyond the Junkyard.